Hey guys, I'm Lucy with Rossmönster Vans, and today I want to show you around the Rossmönster Overland. This is a truck camper built on a Ford F150 truck. This one specifically is designed for its off-grid capabilities, so everything on here you're going to be completely self-sufficient, and then it's also built for rugged terrain. That said, all of these vehicles can be completely custom built just like any of our vans, and our next Rossmönster Overland is going to be built on a 2500 class vehicle, so be sure to check that out. Before we go inside, let me show you around some of the exterior features of this vehicle. When it comes to the vehicle itself, we have put BFG Mud Terrain Tires on this rig along with 20-inch Black Rhino Wheels. We have Line-X fender flares, side steps, and front and rear bumpers. We also have four-wheel drive with locking differentials, and we have upgraded suspension in the front and the rear with an airbag system, so you can adjust the kind of ride that you want to have. And then lastly, we have all of these LED lights around the entire perimeter of the van. So in the front, we have a 52-inch 300-watt LED light bar. On the sides, we have these smaller lights. And then if you come all the way to the back, we again have even more light bars back here and on our bumpers. So these are going to be rough country lights on the rear and the front bumpers to give you a little bit more light when you're going down the road. Additionally, in the rear of this vehicle, we have a trailer hitch for towing, as well as a full-size spare on our door that actually lifts on actuators. As we mentioned earlier, the front of this rig is kitted out. We have our light bar on the top, and then our Line-X front bumper with those lights. Additionally, one of my favorite things about the Rossmönster Overland is how comfortable and quiet the ride is. So inside you really just have your standard F150 truck cab, and then we also have added some of our switches for all of the light bars on the exterior of the vehicle. Additionally, the back of the cab of this vehicle is really roomy. Here at Rossmönster, we take this vehicle out for many of our adventures, and we have a few guys who are 6 foot tall at least, and they ride back here really comfortably. So we've taken out the bench seat and instead installed a jump seat on both sides, which just comes down like that. And additionally, we have a pass-through. If you wanted to enter the vehicle this way, you can also enter in the back as well. But this is just a nice little sound partition, keeps everything separate, but it can be rolled up and takes us into the back. Lastly, on the exterior of this vehicle, on the passenger side, we have a Fiamma awning, and additionally, on the exterior, but under the carriage of this vehicle, we have a 50-gallon freshwater tank, and that's with a stainless steel tank, so you don't have any plastic smells, and it's really durable for off-roading and whatever sort of terrain you're going over. So when you come around to the rear of this vehicle, this is another entrance. We have this on actuators, so you just press the button and it'll lift right up so we can go inside. Alright, so now that we have that lifted, we'll step inside. So once you come inside, you'll notice it's a little short in here. So the best thing about this vehicle is that we have the top on actuators as well as that rear door. So I'm going to go ahead and press this button, and we're going to send the ceiling up so that we'll be able to stand in here and have access to our bed. Alright, now that we are inside and we have the top actuated, we have plenty of room above our head for walking, and plenty of clearance in the bed in the rear. So I'm going to go through some design features of this build, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the specific elements and some of the systems that make this the ideal off-grid rig. So design features, we have teak countertops throughout. We have a cork flooring, so that's going to be super lightweight. We have our teak table on a lagoon mount in the dinette area. And then we have our leather upholstered dinette, as well as white painted cabinetry on both sides, and this will lift when you actuate the top of the vehicle. And then lastly, we have a Shoshogibon ceiling. So this is a really cool way to do tongue and groove. We actually burnt the wood ourselves, well, Ross did, so it's completely custom. You can make it as dark or as light as you want. Another nice design feature that we went for in this vehicle was some lighter cabinetry up top, and then we have our black painted durable enamel slab cabinetry on the bottom. So let's start with the bed, which is in the rear. So up here we have a queen size bed. You take these lovely steps to get in it, which also have lighting so that if it's nighttime, you know how to get in your bed. On the side of the bed that you'll sleep, you have these reading lights, so they are touch button activated. And then we also have a skylight back here, which is one of my favorite things when I'm sleeping in this vehicle. So it has a bug screen that comes out over it, so you can have it open and have some nice airflow and not have to worry about bugs coming in. You can also take it the other way and have full blackout, so you're not going to get woken up when the sun comes out. Next, we'll go into the kitchen area. So we have our 15 by 20 Rivati sink here with a cutting board insert. Each of these steps to get into the bed is a little drawer, and that's going to all be on our V-latches so that everything stays nice and secure while you're driving. We just took this vehicle up Rollins Pass, which is one of the bumpiest roads I've ever ridden on in my life, and everything stayed exactly where it was supposed to be. Worked like a dream. We also have our 4.63 cubic foot isotherm fridge and freezer here. And then under the sink, we have a 3-stage water filtration system. So that's another of those really nice off-grid capabilities of this vehicle, is that you could literally pull up to a puddle, pull water from that, and have fresh drinking water on the road. So in the rear of the vehicle, we have this dinette, so a slightly smaller portion over there and then a larger bench seat over here. We also have, again, a teak table on a lagoon mount. So this is a lovely place to enjoy dinner inside if it's a little rainy or anything outside. I'm going to go ahead and take this table down, and I'll show you how this converts into another sleeping area for 1 to 2 people. Then once you have your table down, you flip over the backrest and you can turn it into a dinette or a bed for 2. When my husband and I have slept down here before, we just put our heads both on this side and then send the feet over to the smaller side. But it's another great use of space, also a great place for a dog to sleep. So we'll fold this back up. Also, a nice feature of this vehicle is that we have the Sierra Lawrence half-slide windows on both sides, so that adds a little bit more cross ventilation and natural light in the vehicle. And those can be placed in multiple spots for custom builds. Another nice feature about this dinette unit is that it's where we're going to store our power systems as well as some other systems on this side. So on the passenger side here, we have 800 watt solar array coming through. We also have 600 amp hours of lithium ion battery bank. And then we have all our fuses. We have a 3000 watt inverter in here. And then on the driver's side of this vehicle, we have our Rixen system. So that's going to be for heat and hot water. The vents are going to come out right here. We also have an exterior shower on this vehicle. So we'll have hot water coming to there as well as to the sink. Again, we have that 3-stage water filtration system that's living in this cabinet box. And then in here we also have a dual air compressor with a 2-gallon holding tank. So you can adjust the inflation of your tires depending on what kind of terrain you're about to drive. You can also bring along toys like a SUP or a raft and fill those up very easily. On the ceiling of this vehicle, we have our Coleman-Mach AC unit as well as a max air fan above the dinette area. And then coming over here, I'll take you through a little bit more about the systems. So we have our dimmable LED dome lights that are for this zone, and then we also have separate dimmable LED light for over the bed. We have our light switch to just light up the entire panel. We have our under cab lights, and then we also have our toe kick lights along the floor here, and then fridge and water pump as per usual. We also have this true induction cooktop in here, so that's gonna run off of the outlets. Here we have our Rixen system, so we have the thermostat as well as the control panel. This switch is going to be for our ceiling to lift up and down. One is programmed to lift it, two brings it back down, so those can be completely customized as well. And then on this nifty little Victron Energy screen, this is how we're going to monitor the power levels in this vehicle. So we can see how much solar is coming in, we can see where our battery levels are at, so on and so forth. So that's a nice feature of this vehicle. Thanks for joining us. Again, I'm Lucy with Rossmönster Vans, and this is the Rossmönster Overland. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, check us out on Instagram, and be sure to stay tuned for the next van tour or Overland tour.